This is Salesforce Simplified, the podcast from Victoriam Solutions. Here's your host, Mike Boyle.
Hello, everyone. You know, I ask this very same question at this very same time every year when we do this podcast about this particular topic. Who's ready for summer? Bring it on, right? Today on Salesforce Simplified, our podcast from Victoriam Solutions, we're talking with AdVic senior consultant Cammy Comiskey about some of her favorite new features in the Salesforce upcoming Summer 22 release. Hey there, Cammy. Welcome to the podcast. We are thrilled to have you as our Salesforce release guru for this release. How are you?
Great. How are you? Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
So you've joined us today specifically, Cammy, to talk about your choices as highlights from the forthcoming Salesforce Summer 22 release, the second of three annual releases from Salesforce, which are winter, spring, and summer. Before we dive into the ones you've selected to call out, Cammy, do you think that there was a particular theme or concentration with this Summer 22 release as you went through it?
Yeah, so something I did notice in this release is that reports and dashboards received a whole lot of attention, and there are quite a few enhancements included in this release that will save some serious time for Salesforce admins as well.
Well, that's good news for those folks, right?
Yeah.
All righty, let's dive into some of the release notes here that you called out. The first one is bulk manage pick list values. I should note that this is in beta. What did you find there?
So this feature is a really exciting one as it has been on the Salesforce Idea Exchange for over 10 years. So people have been very patiently awaiting this update. The bulk manage pick list values feature allows you to delete, activate, deactivate, or replace multiple custom pick list field values at once. And previously, you had to modify them one at a time. And if you have a significant number of field values, this could be very tedious and time consuming. So I know I am personally looking forward to this one as I have been in a position where I've had to deactivate over 50 pick list values one at a time, and that definitely does take some time out of your day.
Love getting time back. Next one is customize and filter related lists in the Lightning App Builder. That one sounds like a good one.
So this new Lightning App Builder component brings a lot of additional functionality to related lists that we have yet to see. It gives you the ability to rename the related list, apply filters, and choose specific criteria for when the related list is displayed on the page. I also want to call out that you will no longer need to add the related list to the standard page layout in order to access it in the Lightning App Builder or to edit the fields that are displayed, which is a huge time saver. So rather than needing to make adjustments in multiple places in Salesforce, you can just go into the Lightning App Builder and handle all things related lists in one place, which is really great moving forward.
The third one that we want to call out here for the Salesforce Summer release is called Enable Permission, Set Expiration, and Enhanced UI. This is a release update. What's behind that one?
So this update is not only a time saver for admins, but it can also avoid any potential permissioning issues with users moving forward. So if you are an admin and you have a scenario where a user or multiple users should only have the ability to do something in Salesforce for a set window of time, this feature is definitely the one for you. It's easy to forget to remove someone from a permission set or a permission set group as some time has passed. So with this update, this can now be alleviated. Also, I've seen flows and other declarative options built out in the past to try to recreate this functionality prior to its release, which does take some time to build out. So I think this is a very powerful tool that will be used by admins moving forward.
Hey everyone, you're listening to the Salesforce Simplified podcast from Victoriam Solutions. I'm Mike Boyle. She is Cammy Comiskey, and she is AdVic's senior consultant. And we're talking about some of the favorites that she has found in the summer release. The next three, the last three of six that we're calling out here today, Cammy, all deal with reports. And at the top, you talked about, reports and dashboards being, kind of a main theme of this summer 22 release. So let's talk about number 4 here on the list. Find the best report type for new reports. And that's going to be generally available from what I understand.
So this new enhanced report type selector allows reporting to be much more user-friendly and efficient for users, as users are able to quickly access recently used report types, view fields and objects that are included, and hide report types that are not used or maybe not needed as often. So being able to hide report types will make the scrolling process much more manageable, especially when they are frequently reporting on the same objects. And also in the details panel, being able to view which objects and fields are included in the report type will alleviate the time spent going into the report and realizing the objects or fields you need are not included in that report type.
Well, also generally available will be number 5 on our list of 6 here. That's called Edit Multiple Fields on the Report Run page. Tell me about that one.
Salesforce reporting has primarily been a view-only tool up until recently, and it's mainly used for visualizing data that can be filtered, grouped, or displayed in a graphical chart. So being able to act on your data and edit multiple fields and lines directly from the report is a massive time saver. And this can also be done now without needing to rerun the report after every single edit, which is great since even something that small takes a ton of time out of your day. So if you are an admin and you are used to data loading to update data on multiple records at once, you should definitely look out for this new feature and consider using it moving forward.
Last one on our list this time is in beta. It's called Create Reports Based on Selected Salesforce Objects. That one sounds interesting.
Yeah, so this feature kind of ties into one that we previously spoke about. So like I mentioned before, it can be time consuming and cumbersome to scroll through numerous report types that you do not need when creating reports. I know that when I personally create reports, I want to organize my data and see results as quickly as possible. So having the ability to filter report types by objects that I'm specifically looking for will significantly cut down the time spent between navigating to the reports object and seeing your data in its desired fashion.
Wonderful. I'm going to just throw you a little curveball here, Cammy, and ask you, how do you go about attacking these release notes when they come out? I mean, do you have a special way that you go about doing it? Is there a certain thing that you begin to look for first? Maybe some tip or something that you have for others who might be diving into these for the first time?
I think when I first look at the release notes, I like to see what Salesforce has put out kind of as a whole. So, any generally available updates, some basic admin tasks that I perform quite frequently. I like to look at those updates first. I think it's really neat that they're constantly updating, all of these admin features and making things a lot easier for us. And, a lot of time is being saved. So the pick list one, for example, this has been an issue for a very long time, and it's really exciting that it's finally being, tackled. I also like to go one at a time down the list. So I like to look at specific Salesforce products. So CPQ, for example, I like to dive into those after I look at the generally available updates. I also like to look at some commerce updates and some analytics updates there and just see, what's out there, what's coming soon, and what'll be here in the future.
Great. I think some good tips for folks who might be doing that for the very first time. Cammy, thank you so much for digging through this latest Salesforce release notes, the Summer 22, giving us your opinions, your highlights, the good, the bad, and the ugly, if you will. I'm looking forward to having you back on a future Salesforce release. The next one will be Winter 22, and that will be here before we know it, later this summer. So Cammy, thank you so much. Pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. This was great. It's very exciting talking about Salesforce.
Always. And for our audience, if you'd like to learn more about the Salesforce Summer release notes, I'll be placing some helpful links for you in this show's episode notes to help you. Hey, is this the first time you're listening to our podcast? First of all, thank you. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast channel. Subscribe. You can go to anyone, Apple, Spotify, Pandora. We're on them all. And we'd appreciate you telling your friends and colleagues about the Salesforce Simplified podcast. I'm Mike Boyle from AdVic. Thank you for joining us. Our next episode of the Salesforce Simplified podcast from Victoriam Solutions, it's just around the corner.
You've been listening to Salesforce Simplified, the podcast from AdVictoriam Solutions.